Hey there, guys. So, the topic of cryptocurrency is one that I get questioned on quite a bit. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't know all that much about it. But I want to, right? I want to get better at speaking on the subject. I want to learn more about it so I know whether it's worth investing in or not and just how to invest in it, period. And because I have a lot of unknowns in my head about the cryptocurrency topic, I conducted a short interview with a man named Bob, and Bob represents his company called Trade Genius. And he gave me a lot of great information on the cryptocurrency topic and how Trade Genius can help you invest in it if that's something that you want to get started in. So I hope you guys enjoy this short interview that I'm going to present to you. And if you want to learn more about crypto, go check out his company, Trade Genius. Enjoy. How's it going, everybody? Welcoming Bob from TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Thank you for joining me today, Bob.
Oh, hey, thanks, Jordan. Thanks for having me on. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very spectacular weekend in many ways.
Yeah.
And the point of this interview, I want to familiarize everybody out there with cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, and I actually want to familiarize myself with it because I'm pretty unaware of exactly what it is. So I wanted to ask an expert about that. And I wanted you to talk about what Trade Genius can do for people as well, those who are, a little bit confused about how to even get into cryptocurrency. So first of all, just talk about what crypto is and how it can benefit people, and maybe some cons or some questions or concerns that a lot of people might have out there as well about it.
Yeah, so cryptocurrency really in the most basic sense is the next generation of digital currency. So the best way I describe it to people is that it takes the best of cash and the best of gold and they merged it together. So it has, I don't want to call it the anonymity, but it has what's called a pseudonymity. You could see that somebody is selling or buying something, but you don't know who they are. That kind of, confidentiality. And it has the portability of being able to do transactions anywhere in the world without anybody being able to confiscate it, without anybody being able to counterfeit it, without permission from anybody else. And so it just gives you all the advantages of cash, all the security of gold, and it gives you ability to really go around the banking system. So that's what cryptocurrency really is in this most basic sense. It's just really the next generation of being able to get around, the what I call the parasites in the system, the bankers and the major corporations and the hedge funds and the Federal Reserve. You can just transact peer to peer. If you and I want to do business together, I can send you money right now as we're talking. I don't have to go through a bank. I don't have to go through a credit card company. I don't have to go through the Federal Reserve. I don't need permission from my government. So that's why cryptocurrency is very appealing to people. And that's why it has really taken off in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it has taken off huge. I mean, I on the news cycles that I watch, seems like every day Bitcoin and other cryptos are hitting new plateaus, new
Yeah.
highs. And in your eyes, I know there's a lot of different kinds of cryptocurrencies out there. Yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, there's a lot of different kinds. Is there any ideas in your mind about which ones are better, which ones might be managed by the elite or anything like that? Because I know a lot of people are concerned that, for instance, Bitcoin is actually managed by the elite to control us or something in that regard. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So way I describe to people, Bitcoin itself, I call it like the gold standard. It'll
Mm-hmm.
be like the reserve currency of the new digital world. You have LiteCoin, which we call the silver standard. The reason being is probably more transactions will occur in LiteCoin because it costs less and it's faster to do the transactions. And in Ethereum, we call it like Intel Inside. That's like the software where a lot of the coins sit on top of. There's 800 plus altcoins out there. That's what they call the other coins.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, a lot of them sit on the Ethereum, what they call the blockchain, which is the way which you record all the transactions. So those are the three big ones, but there's others. There's Neo is kind of like the Ethereum of the Chinese market. And then you have the two that you just kind of talked about, which ones can be controlled. Those are the decentralized currencies. Those are the ones that you want to do business in because it requires a consensus from everybody in the network to be able to say a transaction is good. However, there's a couple I call Trojan horses out there, and that's like Bcash. People probably heard about that. Just got put on some of the exchanges. That's a coin that came off of Bitcoin, but it's really more centralized. 5 or 6 major players own most of the coins, and they want to control the mining of that. And that's where they can start controlling and manipulating you and me. And then the bankers are behind a coin called Ripple, which is really a bank-to-bank, country-to-country kind of transaction. But again, it's very centralized and it's very controlled. And those are the ones I think the elites are going to try to use to, manipulate the market or try to downplay the other coins. But there's a lot of them out there that are really good. There's Stellar, which is backed by IBM. There's NXT. There's Monero, which is one that's truly confidential. And then there's just a plethora of them coming up. We're just trying to keep up with them all the time. But those are probably the big 10 that people like to do transaction with. And then there's 6, 7, 800 other coins that are coming. And a lot of them will be gone next year, Jordan, just because they won't find a place in the sun, if you will.
Wow, that's awesome. I'd only heard, of a handful of them. I didn't even know there was that many.
Oh yeah, there's like probably 70 a month coming on.
Wow. I recently saw one called LiteCoin. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but that makes me think of Rothschild. So I don't know who's behind that one. I was laughing when I saw LiteCoin.
Yeah, well, there's a Burger King coin too, so it just tell you how ridiculous it can get. So
don't you get those in the Happy Meals or the what they give you?
I think so. Yeah, I don't eat there, so I don't know.
Yeah. What about those who think, what's your ideas, I should say, behind the origination of cryptocurrencies? Some people are thinking it's artificially intelligence influence. Some people think it originates from some white hats that are trying to protect us in case the Federal Reserve crashes the fiat currency system. What's your ideas on how it originated?
Yeah, so we call the cryptocurrency or the blockchain revolution Internet 3.0. Internet 2.0 or Internet 1.0 was a government funded operation by DARPA back in the 60s and 70s to make sure that communication happens in case there's a nuclear war in the United States where packets could go decentralized. Well, the NSA in the 80s and 90s wrote a paper on how to send transactions and do business and have a currency that's equally decentralized. And that's the genesis behind the cryptocurrency. Now, as far as anybody knows, they didn't really do anything with it. And then a consortium of a person called Satoshi went ahead and started the Bitcoin protocol, if you will, that you're creating these coins from, early 2000s all the way to 2021. And so and his thought behind this was, it's really clever. It's that when you want to coin that, in order for a currency to work, you have to trust it. Mm-hmm. And you have to trust that it can't be counterfeited. And that you have to trust that the value is going to be there. So what he did was he created basically called proof of work that really requires there to be effort behind it, that it's not easy to do or create a coin. And then there's 11,000 what they call nodes out there that validate these transactions every 15 minutes, Jordan. And so everybody's looking at the transaction and saying, yeah, that's a good and fair transaction. So you have transparency. And I know that's a lot of things your audience worries about too. Are we getting good information? Well, there's 11,000 people looking over a transaction that you and I would send to each other. And once that's done, it's locked in. So nobody can undo that and steal our coin or steal our transaction. So it's decentralized. It doesn't require permission. You can't confiscate it. If you tried to take $11,000 of cash over the Canadian border, to go visit somebody for the holidays, that border crossing, they could have confiscated that money from you. Mm-hmm. And they have no other reason why we suspect that you didn't earn it. Well, if you have $11,000 in Bitcoin and you walk across the border and say you have any money on you, say no, you're in Canada and you want to go now to spend some of that money, you can go ahead and you can have a debit card, a Bitcoin debit card, and you can spend the money. You didn't need anybody's permission to cross it. So it can't be confiscated and doesn't require anybody's permission. So it's, in my view, the decentralized nature of it is very white hat. The black hat is when the people are going to try to centralize the coin. Mm. And they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time doing this to people because it's decentralized. They can't confiscate it. They'll have to shut the internet down at this point. And now they're having what's called decentralized exchanges because China said, hey, we'll just shut down all the exchanges. So now you can't use your coins. Well, there's a bunch of really smart people that created what's called decentralized exchanges. That means the exchange exists everywhere and nowhere at the same time, like your coins do. So nobody could shut it down. The only way they could do it is literally stop the internet from happening. So it's going to provide a lot of power to the people. And this is the first time people got ahead of the banks and the big money, and they're playing catch up trying to get involved in this. So this is the first time. This is a really big wealth transfer effect that's happening that doesn't include the banks. And at first they dismissed it. Now they're scared to death. And now they're trying to figure out ways in which they can participate or try to co-opt this, but it's too late for them.
That's a lot of great information. You're even educating me. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this video. You mentioned earlier trust. And one thing I've noticed lately with crypto is the volatility of the markets. And, it's just crazy going up and down even during one single day. So what words do you have to those who are timid because of the volatility of the markets?
Okay, so I have two views on that. So there's a thing out there people call hodling. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I have. I just heard about it the other day.
Yeah, so it's a derivation of hold. Somebody spelled it wrong at first and it kind of took. And so what they call people in crypto, they call them hodlers. That means I'm going to hold this coin because I know over time the value of this coin is going to be more valuable than the fiat currencies that it's being expressed against. So therefore, I think, hey, I think the dollar is going to fall by half. So if I get to wait 2 or 3 years, I know my coin will be worth at least 50% more. So they're just holding it. And then the other people are like traders. And I come from a trading background, so I've been trading for over 30 years. So I have stuff that I'm holding and then stuff that I'm trading. And so what we do, if I could just plug Trade Genius for a second, is that we provide our clients with software tools and the trading room so that we can advise them. And I don't want to use the word advise because we're not financial advisors. So we could suggest to them that, hey, we think probably this coin has run too far too fast. You might want to take a little bit off the table. Or, hey, I think they overdone it to the downside. We should add. So it's really a strategy of buy low, sell high. But if you look at the trajectory, Jordan, it's going up all the time. So, and it won't end anytime soon. It's trying to get to a point where it's providing what's called purchase power parity to gold and silver. That's the best place you can compare these cryptos against. It wants to be as valuable as gold and silver is from what they call a market capitalization or an asset value perspective. And it can still go up 10 to 20 times where it is today to meet that criteria. So what I tell people is I drip in every week, and I've been doing this for a long time. I still buy every week. I buy every Tuesday, regardless of what the price is. And then I manage my position as I see the software tools telling me to say, hey, get a little heavier here or get a little lighter here. So that's what I advise people. But by all means, you have to be participating in this because you're going to look back. We told people a year ago, you need to get into the cryptocurrency. People are telling us today, I had no idea it was going to go up 1,000 to 5,000%. And it's going to have another move because version 2 or the second wave is going to be coming in 2018 and 2019 because the big money now is starting to get involved in this. So we still have time. There's 2 more waves. We equated to the internet in 1994. There's a good 6 or 7 years left in this run, in our view, before it reaches some sort of stasis.
Gotcha. You don't call it hold genius. You call it trade genius for a reason. And, funny enough, I just saw on Zero Hedge yesterday that somebody put down $1 million bet that Bitcoin would hit 50,000 in 2018. So, for those out there who, like myself, want to get into cryptocurrency, what can Trade Genius do for them?
Yeah, so when people come to us and they sign up, they ask, what's the first thing I should do? We tell them, look, we have a package, just get into the trading room. There's hundreds of people there. It's open 24/7. My partner runs that, and he's been mining cryptocurrency since 2011. So nobody knows more about this space than he does. I defy anybody that know is more knowledgeable than he is in doing this, and get in there with other people that have been trading these coins for a while and ask a lot of really good questions. The second thing is you just got to put a stake in the ground and buy a little, and then try to learn the rhythm of the movement of the price. If you like Bitcoin, that's great. If you like one of the other coins, that's fine too. They all have a rhythm and an oscillation where you can just keep adding. And then the other thing that we tell people to do then is that we have software tools that you can load right on your own PC, and that you can then see. We actually have buy and exit, buy or sell. We make it really simple and really easy for people to visually see when they probably should take some off the table. And for example, a week and a half ago, our software was telling people, hey, might be time to exit a little bit, because we use what's called money flow indicators to tell us that money's sneaking out the back door. Price may not see that yet, but we see that people are selling, and people have sidestepped this crash that just happened a couple days ago, and then our software said to get right back in. And so people wrote it up, and we're laughing over at our side. We're like, what sell off? Because we were prepared to sell ahead of time. We were prepared to buy as it was going down. And those are the things that we help people do. You need a team, you need some mentors, you need coaches, and we're all just good people. We're not a, hey, get rich quick thing, hey, put all your money in. That's not who we are at all. This is an asset. This is a way in which for you to build wealth. This is one of the few times in your life that somebody can actually build wealth at an accelerated rate, but we help you do it in the right and responsible way. People are saying, I'll mortgage my house, I'll get a home equity line. We're like, no, don't do that. Just buy in, add to it. You'll make a lot of money over time if you follow some really good processes and signals that we help you, determine when to buy and sell.
And really, I mean, any person in any financial situation can use Trade Genius and buy cryptocurrency. It doesn't really matter how much money a month is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's different than the stock market. When the banks get involved in something, they don't let the little guy, thrive. So they put all these crazy rules in there to keep a small person from being able to generate wealth. But you literally can open up an account at an exchange and put $100 in, and put $100 in a week or $100 in a month, and you could buy a portion of a Bitcoin or a portion of a LiteCoin. Because all you're really concerned with is how the fast percentage is the growth. There's no restrictions whatsoever. It's not like, and you could trade it 500 times a day if that's your desire, where you could just put it away and say, hey, I'm not touching this for 10 years. You get to be in control of that. So there's no banker, there's no regulatory authority that is telling you need $25,000 or you need to make $100,000 a year. None of that stuff. You get started right away.
Awesome. So it sounds super duper easy. It sounds like Trade Genius is really kind of set up to help people streamline the process. Do you guys have an app?
Yeah. What we do is our trading room is off of an app for a phone, and we actually trade futures and stocks too. We have an app for that people can get into the chat rooms, and then the software is actually a desktop and they have their apps so that you can see the buy and sell signals on their charts.
Cool.
Other than that, you just go to tradegeniusacademy.com. We're running some year-end specials right now, Jordan, and people could select what room they want to join, or if they want to buy software too, or if they want to get training courses, we have that as well. And a lot of people, believe it or not, will opt for personal coaching. So we'll do that too. So depending on what people's comfort level is, and it doesn't really matter the age. You'd be surprised. A lot of people saying, oh, the cryptos are for kids and young people. The average age of somebody who's buying and selling the cryptocurrencies are in their late 40s. So it's really for everybody. People that lived through 2008 know intuitively that the Wall Street can let them down again. People who are young, like my daughter, don't trust the government, and so they would rather take control of their life, and they're comfortable with with digital, with app, with no parasites in the middle of them. And what I call parasites, anybody gets in the middle of your transaction and takes a fee without adding value, those people are going to get wiped out.
Yeah.
The guy from the pirate party from Sweden said, It's an extinction level event for the banks. You don't need them. They serve no purpose anymore. And so this is a great opportunity for us to take control of our lives.
Yeah, I am noticing there is a huge crackdown on cryptocurrency. I live in Washington State, and I was doing some research the other week, and they don't allow certain exchanges in that state. So it's pretty difficult to buy
Yeah,
cryptocurrency there.
yeah. The Gemini exchange is been approved for Washington State.
Cool.
So I would suggest, I have a Gemini account, and there's some other exchanges out there, but Gemini, they're doing it the right way. Those are the Winklevoss brothers who are the first crypto billionaires, and
Wow.
they're putting exchange together across the United States, and they totally believe in this future, and they're doing it the right way. They're making sure that it's funded. They're making sure they have insurance. They make sure if something happened to a coin or a transaction, that you're backed. So in Washington State, the Winklevoss brothers are the ones through Gemini are going to be able to be approved for trading cryptocurrencies. And once your money's in, Jordan, you
Hmm.
can trade anywhere. You can trade anywhere you want. That's just to get your money into the system.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Bob, you've educated me a ton on cryptocurrency. I'm actually contemplating on putting a little money in now. I never have before. I just didn't know. I was very unaware of what it was. So thank you for the education. And is there any last comments that you want to tell the audience out there? I'm going to put the links to the year-end specials and everything that you've got going on in your website down below in the description. But any last words?
Yeah, the only thing is that you need to participate in one way, shape, or form. You need to get in on this revolution because it's not going to end. The coins are the first step. This whole thing around the blockchain technology, Jordan, is going to change everything that we do in our life.
Heard a lot of great things about blockchain.
And we can talk about that in the future if you like, but it'll change our lives in ways in which we can't even contemplate right now. So people need to be on the front end, and the coins are the way in which you're going to be visibly be able to see that. So you need to start getting comfortable with this whole world of cryptocurrencies. And thank you for listening to me today.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I invite everybody out there to check out cryptocurrency, ponder what it might be able to do for you. And if you're really confused about the process, looks like Trade Genius can definitely help you along. So thank you, Bob.
No, thank you, Jordan. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.